Hey everyone, so do you struggle with creative writing? Do you feel uncomfortable even starting a piece of writing? A lot of students just sit there, they stare at the page, and they're unsure of even how to start or produce a full piece of extended writing. And I get it, it can be very intimidating. But if that's you, then this video is for you because I'm going to walk you through 3 steps that will genuinely help you become a better and more confident creative writer, even if you think you're bad at it right now and it's not your forte. So, step one, let's be honest, if you're not comfortable writing, it's going to be very hard to enjoy it and produce a top level piece. So, before you start thinking about fancy vocabulary or structure, you need to just build a relationship with writing. That's why I say one key thing you need to do is write freely by hand. Or if you're going to use a computer in the exam, you can use that. But whatever you're going to be doing in the exam, practice that writing. So you can pick any topic you want. It can be sport, YouTubers, music, film, whatever you want to write about, and just write for 5 or 10 minutes. No overthinking. It could be about your day, something that annoyed you at school, a memory, a weird dream, anything. And you're not going to worry about impressive vocabulary or techniques at this stage. All you're going to do is check the technical aspects. So you can check your spelling, your punctuation, and your flow. And make sure you check that afterwards. You might think you made no mistakes, but everyone does, even high level writers. The first draft, they'll make some mistakes. So make sure you're going back and correcting that and building that muscle, training that habit. Because this isn't about becoming a good writer yet. It's just about getting into the habit of writing, like doing sport or going to the gym. You don't start by lifting a really heavy weight, for example, at the gym. You just show up and you get moving and you get comfortable with the process, and that naturally leads to more advanced things. So, a great resource that you can use if you want to just look at different stimuluses and get interesting prompts or ideas is this website, Kids Think Wide. So, you can go on the pictures, and they've uploaded a range of, I think, AI generated pictures. Some of them you need to subscribe, but a lot of them you don't. A lot of them are very beautiful and very evocative. And you can just use them as inspiration and just start writing about them. Again, don't worry about the vocabulary yet. Just get comfortable with the process of writing. Then, after you've done that, you can start to reflect on your writing. Start to reflect on your writing. So, as you're writing as a habit, in your revision sessions, you're going to be writing more, or even just recreationally, you will start to notice areas that you want to improve. And here are the main areas I want you to look at: vocabulary, language techniques, sentence structures, punctuation, and spelling. So maybe you'll notice that your descriptions are a bit flat or your vocabulary is very basic. And that's what I want to focus on now: vocabulary, because that is a key aspect to achieving a top level band. Ambitious vocabulary used in a sustained manner. You don't just use one, you sustain it throughout your whole piece. So, this is an example piece from a student of mine. A lot of it is very good. It was inspired by this prompt from Kids Think Wide, and a lot of it's very good. So, we can see beneath the green, fluffy trees, there were 2 friends who had grown up together and were very close. This friendship was special. Running through the colorful forest grounds, the 2 friends sat down close to a nearby tree. Suddenly, one of the friends turned into an Arctic white wolf, which had a magical, cascading, long mane. Screaming in shock, the girl turned to the terrifying beast and stared at the creature in horror. Slowing, the wolf stepped closer and gave the girl a familiar look that made her feel calm. So a lot of it's very nice. It's quite a freestyle. It's a freestyle story in response to this prompt. But what I want to look at is the vocabulary. So you're going to train yourself to look at your work and see what words do you think could be up leveled or be more powerful. So for me, the green fluffy trees. For me, fluffy is not really appropriate for the description of a tree. At least it's not very evocative or descriptive. So what else could I say? If we're thinking about the trees, You can imagine if it's windy, they're almost flowing. We could say they were billowing. Billowing. What we could say beneath the green, billowing trees. And I might change the whole phrasing actually here and say, beneath the trees, billowing like emerald clouds, were two friends. So there you go. I've made that a lot more evocative and a lot more interesting. And you might struggle to do that at first, but you will be able to improve it. And you just want to train that muscle. So another one I want to look at is two friends who had grown up together and were very close. That's okay, very close, but it could be more evocative and emotive. So we could say we're two friends who had grown up together and shared a deep bond. So there you go. I've made that a lot more evocative and interesting. So at first, I want you to just try and improve using your brain. Search your brain, push yourself, and think harder for more powerful ways to describe things, and search your brain for an extra level of vocabulary. Because that's where you're stretching your writing muscles, and it'll become a lot more easy for you to produce higher level pieces. But obviously, if you're really struggling and you're at a loss, you can just Google it. So you can use thesaurus.com, search a word. For example, if I wanted to say fluffy, you've got words like creamy, feathery, gossamer, silky. Or you can even write in Google, because AI gives suggestions now. You could say other ways to describe trees: sturdy, stunning, breathtaking, bright, oversized. So you can use some of them and just take one or two each time you write, or even one piece of vocabulary, and just start to record it. And that takes me on to step 3, which is having journals. So making sure as you're writing, you're using a journal to strategically improve your writing. So you're already reflecting. You'll start to notice patterns, whether it's the vocabulary, the techniques, the structures, punctuation, or spelling. Whatever's lacking, you can use the journals, a dedicated journal, to improve those areas and record more advanced ways to express yourself. So you can use a physical notebook. It can be in your notes app on your phone. It can be on a Google document, whatever you want. But for example, now we've got vocabulary here. We've got the word billowing. That was one word that we found, and that is an adjective. And it means kind of filled with air and swelling outwards. Example sentence, we could use a different example. Thick, billowing smoke erupted out of the crevice in the mountain, or out of a crevice in the mountain. So guys, just to recap, step 1, write freely by hand, but do it consistently. Step 2, reflect on your work and try and push your language, your techniques, your sentence structures, and refine your punctuation and spelling. And then step 3, keep track of what you're learning with journals and try and apply that in future pieces of writing.